Hello everyone, welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. The Game Master doesn't know any of the rules. If you thought that was just a clickbait title, it's not. It's actually the name of this short story. Okay, so I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition ever, and and my experience with Dungeons and Dragons is really far in the past for most of it. So I wanted to try something out today with four Dungeons and Dragons players who have experience and who know a little bit about the game. Since there's usually a power imbalance due to the fact that the game master knows of all of the rules or is supposed to know all of the rules, and that the players might not, I wanted to try to see what happens when we shift that power imbalance around. So today we're going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I have not done any research. I have not looked into anything. All that I know is vaguely listening to some podcasts of people playing D&D, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to absolutely trust whatever my players say when it comes to rules, and just go with this. So I'll be asking the players, what do you think the difficulty for jumping over this obstacle should be, and they'll let me know and roll against that difficulty. Same thing for loot, same thing for experience points and things like this. Homebrew was allowed, and yeah. So quick thing. The players decided on making level 9 characters using homebrew, rolling 46 for stats, and removing the lowest ones. I'm pretty sure that's it. So before we get started, my name's Simon. I've been a role-playing gamer for 15 years or so. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm excited to be here. I used to play a lot of D&D 4th edition, but that was years and years ago. So right now I'm really uncertain how how this is going to turn out, but I'm really excited to try. Next up is Pulp. Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and your character?
Sure. Sure. Well, myself, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons only for 5th edition for a bit more than a year, and but I'm pretty experienced since I kind of do my research with the rules and stuff, especially since I was a DM myself for a while, and I still am technically. Well, to today I'm going to be playing a cleric of nature, and so basically his backstory, if I make it quick, it's like he's a guest Yankee, so he was sent to the astral. So he was raised a bit evil as a warrior, sent to live a life of violence before he converted to a religion where he tried to throw away his violent past and attitudes to become peaceful and even try to make the world peaceful. So that's pretty much it for me.
All right, Eagle.
Um, my name is Christian. And I've been playing mostly D&D, but other tabletop games for about like 6 years or so. I started in my sophomore year of high school, with just my group of friends, and it was something to do after school. I've GM'd campaigns. I play also a bunch of campaigns. I, I'd say personally I prefer to be a player over a GM. Um, and My character is oh God, how do you pronounce the race again?
Dragonborn?
It's an elf sub race called El Eldering, which are I think they're based on more on like nature stuff, and he's a Pact of the Kraken warlock who's just a quick blurb is his history is he's an entertainer, a street magician almost, until his former troupe got killed by a group of fanatical villagers who blamed the troop for a troll attack, which are those like really horrible like lobster monsters. They just saw it's like, oh, he's Kraken, water monsters. They must have done it. So so after that, he's just kind of spent his time wandering the world as a mercenary, trying to gather enough coin and favor to start up his own performance troupe. And that's about it. Yeah.
Nice. All right, True G.
I'm Jason, and while I'm about as experienced in 5th edition as our Dungeon Master here, I've only been playing for about a couple months, so I'm very fresh-faced. However, I am no stranger to the role-playing scene, having been mostly an actor for about 5 or 6 years since middle school, thereabouts. And what I'm going to be playing today is a black dragonborn pirate. He was a member of a whaling ship, those that hunt whales, for their various materials, and unfortunately has fallen on hard times and naturally took up pirate. For reasons that are complicated either by circumstance or maybe a bit too much grog at the last tavern, he's found himself in this area and crew. Now, of course, being the pirate that he is, he will smash, slash, hack, and eventually make his way back to either his old crew or maybe make a new one with whoever he's come up with.
All right, and Envy.
Hello, my name is Wesley Spector. I've been playing tabletop role-playing games for probably about 4 years now. I also do a little bit of live streaming for games. I'm going to be playing Niddy and Elmland, or he goes by Niddy. He's pretty young for a wood elf. He was raised in a monastery, didn't really ever know his parents, but he kind of has what he describes as a fire burning inside of him that keeps him constantly active. He can't sit still for longer than 2 seconds. And due to that, he broke a lot of priceless artifacts in his monastery and ended up getting kicked out. So he ended up kind of traveling across the lands and competing in martial arts competitions, duels, races, anything he can do to expend his energy. And he's just kind of trying to find his purpose, something that's going to sate the fire inside of him.
Nice. All right. So these are our characters. This is our group. We start in a small village, more specifically the local tavern, as those stories often do. Your characters are just resting. Some of you have been here for a couple of days. Some of you have just arrived. It is towards the morning at the moment, and your characters are either waking up or freshly arrived in the local tavern, and you're as you sit down for a drink. Maybe it's too early for alcohol for your characters. Maybe it's not. You begin to notice that there's something strange in this small town. There's a smell that's wafting into the tavern from the outside that's attacking your noses. Something foul is just at the edge of your field of perception, and it's and you can see all of the other patrons are starting to make faces one after the other, and
Oops.
turning around, looking at what could be outside. You notice one another. You're all here. And yeah, what do you do?
I think Nitty would definitely be probably in like the main area doing some ridiculous stretches, maybe doing some handstands and trying to expend some energy while he just kind of woke up in the morning doing his morning stretches. And in the middle of his handstand, upside down, he kind of sniffs like, does anybody else smell that? He kind of looks around and hops back up on his feet.
Theodos would probably, as he's an entertainer, he's probably been in the inn for a couple of days, and he's just exchanging performance for lodging, as performers often do. So there's probably, I would imagine, like maybe like a little like wooden stage in like a corner of the tavern that I'm just sitting on a stool playing my instrument, which is a glar, so a kind of like brass trumpet kind of thing. Kind of looks like a French horn. And then I'd probably just be playing, and then it'd probably just stop mid thing, and I'd be like, you, and then I'd probably respond to the thing and be like, yeah, it doesn't smell like any of the patrons.
Yeah, and
Or,
yes,
or should I go?
yeah, you can go.
Right. Baxlar, of course, being a pirate, is no stranger to alcohol, and he's probably a little hungover and not in the best of moods. After taking a little bit of a glare at our little performer, since he's out of town, he's a pirate, they've got that bad reputation about them, we sigh, get up, and just grab his weapon and try to figure out where exactly outside it's coming from. Because he's sick of it, everyone else is sick of it, and he's going to punch something.
Oh, well, we got ourselves a go-getter here.
All right.
Okay.
If you'd
Oh.
like, you can. Oh, wait, no, I can do that. I'm gonna drag your tokens onto the map, and you can place where your characters are. Not this big. Also not this big. Okay. And yeah. So, what would be the role to? I think to see something that's pretty obvious on the outside.
Looking-
Perception. For like pretty obvious, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for looking around, it'd be perception. If it's like trying to look for something, that'd be investigation.
All right. Yeah, I think that's in this case it's a simple perception check at a difficulty that's like a level 1 could manage.
Okay, so that would be a 10.
Okay.
Like around like 10. Or
Yeah.
8 or 10, yeah.
Go ahead and roll perception.
Okay.
Not quite do that, Mr. GM.
Oh, I got a 23.
Okay.
Alright.
All right.
And perception.
So
That's not-
Roll
Right.
perception. What do I do?
all right. So both of you notice right outside of the tavern. You. Go ahead.
One of the players just wanted to know how to properly navigate Roll20 and do rolls.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's dice icons next to your character sheet, like on your character sheet next to your skills, and I think you can just click them and it will make the appropriate rolls.
Or click
Nice.
the name of the skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, everybody's rolled perception. Everybody succeeded. Yeah, wait. Oh, okay. So why is it 2 rolls? Oh, it's in case you rolled with advantage. Got it.
Yep.
Or with disadvantage. That makes sense. I have vaguely heard of that. So all of you notice, either through the windows or through the flipping doors to the tavern, that the local town statue has it's the statue of an illustrious mayor or some sort, or perhaps a priest, since the statue is represented with the symbol of the pillar, the sun god, has been desecrated. There is excrement all over the statue, humanoid-looking excrement, and and that's what's and the soft breeze is blowing that smell into the tavern from the outside.
Can I roll to determine if it was my own excrement? Because I'm not sure how sober Baxter was last night. I can't say he was very, but
All right. Well, with your perception, you're like, this is pretty foul. Too much fiber to be from my diet. Yeah, you don't think it's you. Unless if there's like a memorization roll that you could do to like try to peer through the mists of alcohol.
I think that would just be a basic like wisdom or like
Your insight.
No, remembering is intelligence. Just a straight intelligence.
All right.
doing that.
Yeah. You're not 100% certain.
It could be.
With your memory, it's
Sounds like something I would do, but at the same time, I would pretty much remember that much.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah. Go ahead.
Would probably just be like scowling, have his like fingers on his nose, like heavens. Clearly, someone's not a fan of whoever this is.
Nitty's bouncing in place right behind you, and he's like, either someone ate a lot, or that would take more than one person to do all that. Stinky.
Well, I think that's just unacceptable, and I just want to investigate. However, I do that.
And it's like, hey, if you want to fiddle with the poop, go ahead.
I'll stay over here.
Do I have a spell?
As an adventurer, you are no stranger to rummaging through horrible stuff in order to get your coin. After all, where else would you find gold after you've just killed a dragon?
That's a good point.
Yeah. So
The pile it's lying on? Duh.
I've seen GM giving gold coins to players for fighting a dragon in the town that the dragon was invading. So I'm just that was confusing to me. Right.
So is someone going to investigate, or am I going to have to get closer to this now?
Go if you want.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right.
Actually, who's got? Actually, yeah, I will. Okay, I won't.
I might. Why not?
All right. It feels like those rolls are pretty low, but I don't know about the difficulty. I think we can agree that these are failures. You fail to find anything.
Crap.
Yeah.
More often time than not, anything below a 10 is a failure usually.
Okay. So the perpetrators seem to have been, at the very least, careful not to leave anything too incriminating.
Except they're shit.
DNA testing has not been invented, as far as I know. There might be a spell that does this, but I would not be the person to know. So, yeah.
I think
Would
is there,
identify work?
Hmm?
I'm just trying to think. Maybe identify, but I don't know if anyone knows that.
I don't know about that.
I
Is there like
don't.
a bartender or something you could talk to nearby the bar?
I was gonna suggest either Baxter would just go back to the tavern keep and be like, "Hey,
Yeah. So, you can see there's this strong woman who's kind of fat, who's like trying to concentrate on her work, but she keeps looking outside the window and just shaking her head and like staring blankly in disbelief in like just right in front of her, just like what the hell is happening? And yeah, you head towards her, and she raises her head and she says, "Tourists these days, am I right?"
Yeah, does someone not like the mayor too much? That doesn't seem like a normal thing to do. And he's kind of bouncing in place.
Oh, that's Albus, local hero. Was a priest. We healed a lot of people. He's been dead for a while. I don't know why anybody would hate him. Maybe it's a religious thing.
Yeah.
Just be landmark.
Lots of religions tend to hate each other.
Don't think too much of this cleric. Could just be people take piss behind tree, people take shit on statue.
Well-
That seems. It's 10 feet in the air. It doesn't look very practical to climb. My son's tried once.
I mean, I could do it, definitely. I mean, are you challenging me? I don't really want to do it right now. But
The
Jump
statue
you on,
doesn't
you
need
can do
more
whatever.
shit
Just
on
leave
it.
me alone.
Okay. So
That's-
I'm sorry. Just do you have any idea who did whatever that was?
Well, I wouldn't think it's any of the locals, because everybody here is good people. But so, like, she turns around and she looks at your group and a couple of other patrons that are also like looking towards the outside in like trying to piece this together. And yeah, you have so all of you see each other as those people with weapons or with obvious martial training, and you recognize your not brethren. You recognize fellow adventurers who also tend to be curious folks, and the sort of people who to get to the bottom of a mystery like this. But yeah. So, what do you do?
Saying
Vinny
is-
would,
okay.
I think
I'll
Vinny would
do-
just look to the others and just be like, if you guys want to figure this out, there's probably some sort of reward. I'll help. Anybody want to join me?
Oh yes, anything to find whoever desecrated this hero, this supposed hero.
I just kind of shrug and I'm like, I had a feeling I'd have to deal with someone else's problems today. As long
Did
as
not
there's
want
coin at
to.
the end, I'm in.
Alright. I will join you, apparently. And, whale woman who brings drinks, your name? Whale woman. Tavern key.
Oh,
Grr.
are you calling me?
Ow. I am seeing one of you.
All right.
And over is
Uh,
my of you.
I think you still haven't gotten over the drink you got last night. Do you? Maybe you shouldn't go on an investigation with the rest.
Just slam the countertop and just look her dead in the eye and maybe roll intimidation. Or use bad reputation. I don't know which would work. Utter, I take to road. I smash either shitter or I smash this shit.
All right,
Bro.
Okay.
go smash somebody outside, not here.
I have something about that. Because alcohol in 5e, or at least, is considered poison, and I have a spell called Lesser Restoration that can clear poison. So I just touch him and say, "Come on, stop that," and use my spell.
Okay, you sober him up instantly. So, yeah,
Ulrich, I like you.
Um,
No more water.
oh,
I go now.
you
I
should
just turn around and leave.
you should be able to move your tokens around now.
I'll just actually make my way, maybe tip over the jumpy dude because he's jumping too much for my liking.
Yeah, as soon as he leaves the room, Nitty kind of looks to the others. He's like, "All right, it's an adventure," and he just kind of sprints out the door right behind the dragonborn.
all right.
I just kind of shrug and I'm like, just walk out the door. And as we're about to leave, I go up to the statue that's just covered in shit.
Yeah.
I just kind of scowl, and then I kind of just like twirl my fingers and I cast prestidigitation
Okay.
to just clean it.
All right.
Clean a foot of it.
Yeah, I try to clean as much of the shit off as I can and make it,
Okay.
I don't know, smell like sandalwood.
A foot is pretty good for So like you magic sparks out of your fingers, reaches up to the statue and just vanishes the excrement into thin air, transforming it into a pleasant smell of sandalwood. And you can see that beneath the attempt to desecrate the statue, there wasn't even like any bird poop. It's like the birds also, the local birds also seem to have this same respect for the local hero. And how are you going to find your perpetrators?
I think first what Nitty would look to the others and be like, "By the way, I'm Nitty, and you can call me Nitty though. We should probably know each other if we're gonna be doing stuff together and figuring out about the secret."
Yeah, of course.
I look at Nitty with this deadpan look of child in every way, but I am going to humor you.
I like humor.
Okay.
Also read thoughts. I not like you, Jumpy One.
Aw,
I
you
am
will
not-
though.
You jump too much. Those who jump too much on ship find themselves in water.
Well,
Roll perception and just
I,
Go ahead.
investigation or whatever. Because
Yeah,
I assume there's got to be some tracks, right?
I would, I'd be like, if we're introducing ourselves, I'm Sadis, and, well, for something like this, the best first option would be to try to find some kind of town guard, see if they know anything.
Okay. I introduce myself. I look kind of proud, I guess. It's like what my character looks like, and I say I am Henry Armstrong, a cleric of I don't really remember the name of my god. But I am cleric of Eldath, like a goddess of peace, and I am happy to join you on this adventure, I guess. And I start to ask around town, like just people, ask what they may know.
Yeah, we're on an adventure now. You're kind of weird looking, Henry, but I can get used to it. So they'll probably know what's going on.
I will just look around because Baxler doesn't always have the best relationship with the town guard. Well, maybe he does if you think about it, but other than that, do I need to roll like another investigation or perception?
Uh-oh, I think you might be
Simon.
muted, but
Yeah.
My bad, I was muted. I think investigation seems appropriate here. If there's something to like streetwise to convince the guards or something, that would also be appropriate. So, what is it that you're trying to do in this instance? And would that
Find like any form of tracks, like
Mhm.
even in the tiniest encrusted or just any sort of trail, any general understanding? Because I assume the crap is all over the statue, but at least one direction, another direction, has there like been a bunch of
Mhm.
people surrounding it? I'm trying to get a vibe of how exactly did this happen?
Yeah. Uh, since there's fresh mud around the statue, the tracks would be pretty easy to spot. Would a 12 be a good enough roll in this case?
If they're easy to spot, I think that's probably a
Yeah, I
successful roll.
think he'd at least be able to find like some of the tracks. He might not be able to like follow it all the way with just a 12.
All right.
Yeah.
In this case, you are able to to spot something. There's a few different sets of tracks that all seem to converge and coordinate all around the statue. One of them is rather heavy, and you can see that right next to the statue, the heaviest footsteps seems to have sunk deeper into the ground, as if this particular person became much heavier right next to the statue. There's also two other large sets of footprints, humanoid sized sets of footprints that are that look like they came from more what are they called? Well-made shoes. And last of all, there is a set of reptilian-looking footprints that that is composed of like free front claws and a back claw towards the back, kind of similar to maybe what a dragonborn sort of foot would look like, but clearly not your dragonborn, whose footsteps are much too large. I think if there's an animal or nature check, you could do it to identify exactly what this
Yeah,
creature
there's a nature skill.
Or survival might be more apropos.
I think either of these would do.
Survival, I'd say, would be more like if you're like in a forest and stuff, but just trying to like come up with like identifying an animal or
Oh,
creature
yeah, you're right.
would be probably nature.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I will
Truji,
give it a shot.
since you spotted the tracks, go ahead and make the roll. You're not 100% sure. But it's a pretty common creature. So you'd say kobold probably. It plagues the lands. They plague the land and around here, as far as you know, and since there's a risk that they could attack people. Lots of lots of people are trained to recognize the signs of a kobold attack. So yeah, that's what you think.
Question: is there anyone with me of the party? I think
Nitty would be with you.
I mean, Thetis would probably be like asking around,
Right.
like asking people in like who live near the statue if they've seen anything.
Okay.
And
right.
What would be
with my
Mhm.
and with my I have a background as a popular demand. When I'm in a town or city that I performed in, strangers who can recognize me and generally typically like me
Okay.
more often than the average stranger,
All right.
because they'd be like, "Oh, that's the guy in the bar."
Yeah. So you start to ask around. You see this this dad who's passing in front of the statue with and he's walking with like his two little girls, and they seem to be heading towards like the outside of the village. Each of them is carrying in like a sword that's that seems like appropriate for their own size, and they're passing in front of the statue and just staring at the parts that haven't been completely cleaned by prestidigitation, and yeah, you see that they seem to have left from a very nearby house. You approach to speak to them. The man sees an elf, and like he doesn't seem to recognize you immediately, but the two little girls point to you and say, "Oh, it's the magician! It's the magician! Do some magic! Do some magic!" And the taller of the two little girls is seems just a little bit more prudent, and she says, "Just don't curse her, okay?"
I kind of just kneel down, so I'm like eye level with them, and I'm like, you want a little magic trick? Sure. And I kind of I grab like a little like thing off the road. I grab like a rock off the road, and I cast prestidigitation again to turn it into like a bright orange,
Oh,
and make it like smell like just smell kind of funny, not like a funny smell, like not like off-putting, but just like kind of weird.
yeah. Okay.
And I just hand it to the kid.
She takes it in like she takes it in her hand, and you can see that she wants to clap, but since she has something in her hand, she just like starts bouncing up and down in excitement, and like brings it over to her dad and says, "Look, it's magic, it's magic." And the dad comes over as well, and he's like, "Thank you, very very amusing." What's your name? I've seen you stay around at the inn. Have you seen what happened here?
Well, my name's Theodus, and not really. Actually, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you. Do you know anything that happened, or do you know anyone who might have seen anything?
I heard some noises at the crack of dawn, when just a bit before my what's it called? Just before my chickens started to wake. I heard some people who were talking to each other and trying to keep their voices low. I didn't think it would be for anything like this.
Did you maybe catch any words or anything they said?
Is there a rule that you would make to try to get someone to remember something like this, or to represent this, or like or to persuade them to share
persuasion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say insight, maybe, because it's mostly like helping you prompt. Whereas persuasion, you can like maybe fork over the coins. Insight could be used to like.
Insight, I thought, was more generally used to like determine someone's intentions, to, like see if they were lying or not.
Roll insight.
Okay. Oh fuck!
Boy.
He's
That's a that one.
Yeah.
That's a fuck.
Has no idea. Just says, nope, I didn't hear anything. Come on, girls. We're gonna be late for practice, and you know how the trainer gets when we're late. And he takes
I
his.
just kind of wave by, and I'm like, well, thanks for.
Yeah.
Any information helps, so thanks.
My turn.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I was also going around town to ask people. So I guess I'd be looking to some people who looked like but just people who looked like they could know something or.
Okay. Yeah, you see one of the somebody wearing like not too heavy armor, but still metal armor, a breastplate, and this sort of like a round helmet that doesn't seem to quite fit him, and he's like walking intently on the village's rounding path, and just looks at the statue, looks at all of you, just like squints a little bit, and just like keeps going with this intent of getting somewhere fast.
I hail him and, excuse me, mister, could I ask you some questions? Could I get your attention for a moment?
Well, yes, but I'll be needing to ask you some questions as well. Did you see what happened here?
Yeah, I did. I was hoping to ask you about it too.
Well, don't worry about it. Town's guards are taking care of this. This insult will not go unpunished. The mayor's putting out a reward to find out who did this.
Yeah, yes, we presumed as such, and but we would like to know, do you have any leads? Do you have any idea who, like, why, even why someone would do such a thing? Any information?
No, but I do see a couple of suspicious people who might have interests in being fools in my town and make fun of the local guards and heroes. Now, and we won't let that go. Mark my words.
Of course. Are you the mayor?
No.
No.
Henry,
Yeah,
town's
you're the-
guard.
Oh, Henry. I'm also named Henry. Henry, what?
No,
That's
you don't look like
That's
a
a-
Henry.
Oh. Well, that's. Oh, okay. So thank you for your help, I guess. If you're sure you don't have any. Like, who are these people you're talking about who might want to desecrate the town's guard to fool the name of the town's guard?
People who are not like us, and like people who aren't human. And like you can see, he's staring basically at you and the rest of the group. Needy, despite being a wood elf, still stands out somewhat because of the monk aesthetic and everything. So you seem to be a prime suspect for the guards.
Okay, yeah, and with my yellow skin, I'm not exactly unnoticeable, and you gentleman over here with his scales and stuff. Okay, I don't exactly want to talk to him anymore, so
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah. So you head away from the racist guard, and like he keeps going straight towards his heading, but every now and then you can see he looks back, makes sure you're still not up to any trouble, and you are all going to notice a strange group walking straight towards the tavern. It seems that there's the local blacksmith, sturdy, strong man, and hold on, just give me 1 second to remember exactly what I was. Yeah, walking alongside a kobold dressed in black clothes and with daggers, and the local priest of Pelor, and the last person is a yeah, and the last person wears the exact same uniform as the guard you just saw going by, but all of them are sporting those like weird red spots all over their skin, and they don't seem to be paying too much attention to this, and they're just walking around laughing. And you also notice that they all have fresh blood on their clothes, and they just enter the tavern, and and you hear them loudly ordering some ale. Yeah.
Hey,
I
lady.
kind of just go, oh, so we're suspicious, but those crazy people laughing covered in blood aren't?
I think
that's
Lady would
large-
definitely hit Baxilar, kind of like tap him on the shoulder, like, hey, look, that's kind of like what you're looking at.
Fresh.
Well, yeah, I know you see tracks, but there's a kobold with him, right? That's kind of suspicious.
Many kobold, not all may be here. Many dragonborn, not all sail. Many elf, not all jump around like grasshopper.
Yeah, but the best ones do. He grins.
No, we
Little jumping one, go with others. I will go to Tavern. Is better spot for me anyways. I
Yeah.
resumes.
I kind of just, I'm like, I mean, you don't exactly have the tact for getting information in a non-confrontational way.
Axlar looks at them. You saw blood on clothes, yes?
Yeah, covered in
On
blood
feet,
and
yes.
giggling like school children.
They may not like confrontation. Wait. Durek. Talk. See. They know diplomacy.
You mean
He means
diplomacy?
smack in face. Trust
I-
me.
I think he means diplomacy.
I
That is
mean,
word.
smacking someone in the face is definitely an interesting way to go about diplomacy. Usually that's what you do when diplomacy doesn't work.
I think the
Diplomacy
musician and
not
the yellow skinned one, they're better at talking than me and you, Baxilar. Let's let them do the talking, but we can like stand in the back.
I'm sorry, did you call me the yellow one?
The yellow skinned one.
I just am having very little patience with Nettie, and I'm like, if their blood is added to blood on their cloak, you can say I told you.
Well, here's the thing. We might not want to kill anyone in a tavern, because we could get
They
arrested.
may kill you, is all I am saying.
I don't think
as
they're going to
well
run
as
the risk
brave.
of killing us in a public tavern. With
Kind of nudges
guards.
Baxilar. It's fine. We'll back him up if that happens, right? We can kick their ass. He kind of like clenches his fist in front of his.
I'm just like, I just kind of just grows like, why does it always devolve into violence?
I'm Dragonborn.
So I'm an elf.
Okay.
Humphrey and our peace. Dragonborn eat meat.
A quick question for
Were you
everyone.
planning on eating him? Sorry,
I think you're muted again, Simon.
I heard him.
No, I'm not muted.
Oh, I think I'm just losing connection. Let me move a little
Okay.
closer.
Yeah. Quick question for everyone. I think those are called saving throws. Not sure they were in the 4th edition. What would the rule be for the first to resist the first stage of a disease, knowing that first stage is very hard to resist, but doesn't have a lot of negative impacts. Later stages have
Be a
yeah.
Constitution.
saving throw.
Okay. What would be a pretty hard difficulty for to resist for to avoid the first stage?
15.
20 or like 25.
Okay.
Well,
Like-
that's really hard.
Okay. Okay. So
Difficult would be like
15.
15 to like
Yeah,
7.
50. Well, I just very hard is like 20, I guess, but like
Okay.
yeah, 15
Yeah.
with like
20
15
is like
hard.
requires almost a crit to
Yeah.
beat it.
that's
Yeah. Or like
that's fair.
15.
I think 20 for just the starting part of the disease is fair. Pulp,
Oh, man.
I don't know what your species is called, but you resist pretty well. Everybody else,
yeah.
yeah, everybody else, you are throughout the next couple of hours, you're going to develop red spots all over your skin and start scratching as you are infected with the first stage of the same infection that those people just had. You have been standing around their excrement for a little bit. So
That's fair.
you
Yeah. I just
the
need to check something. Keep it going.
all right. They are now inside of the tavern. Are you all heading to see them? Are you or not?
Well,
Yeah. Nitty and I can just hang out and I can just like point out where the tracks were and
Mm-hmm.
so that we just mess them up anymore, and maybe just generally take on the conversation in case it goes awry, but also keep like an eye out for any guards that they may need to talk with.
Yep. All right. So you're staying outside of the tavern, right? With
Just,
Nidhi.
just listening in, just keeping close.
All right. Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day everyone.